He's using an analogy here of two covenants and how we are saved, how we come to God, and whatnot. So what was the reason why Paul wrote this letter to the church in Galatia? What went wrong? Our approach to God, or God's approach to us, was being misconstrued, okay? And so the letter to the Galatia is organized first in, Paul opens the letter with, I'm worried about you. What has happened to you? You have abandoned what you've previously believed. And then he goes on and talks about his credentials, essentially setting his credentials up against the credentials of the people who are coming in to bring this false gospel. Okay? And then he talks about the restoration of unity with God by trusting God and not trying to be doing some specific task or work. And that's when it comes along with the passage 2:20, which I quoted before. The life I now live, I live not by doing something for God, but by trusting Him. So how did the Galatians first come to the gospel? They trusted God. And now they are abandoning that trust for doing something else. So that's how it was with Abraham. Paul talks about in 3:6. That's how it was with Abraham in Galatians 3:6. Consider the experience of Abraham, as the scripture says, he believed God, and because of his faith and trust in him, God accepted him as righteous. So Christ redeemed us from the natural consequences of our lawlessness. Okay? The law was given to identify sin and death. It was given prior to our trusting Him. Prior to our trusting Him, it walled us in and protected us just from doing bad things. Okay? But after we came to God, we don't use it in the same magnifying glass, MRI scanner way to identify unless we are straying. Okay? And then Paul went on to talk about sonship and adoption versus strangers or foreigners. And so this week we come to the two covenants, and his analogy, the two covenants.